Now reacting to the solo artist ZICO from Block B and a B-side song off of his 2019 Thinking Part 2 album. The song is about a person living in a dystopia. He doesn't know where he is or why he's there. The lyrics describe different ways people try to overcome the unhappiness of the world they live in. ZICO's description of this world is similar to Plato's The Cave. He ends the song with the realization that this world is one he created himself.
The allegory? Okay.
The allegory of the cave. Right. That's the one where there's a man chained to a wall in a cave.
He gets to see only shadows.
Yeah, he can only see shadows that are being held up by other beings. And so he thinks that's real and that's what he's seeing. But like the bigger picture is that he's being manipulated by other more intelligent forces in a cave that's a small part of a bigger world. So I think it's supposed to be an allegory for how we as humans assume that, you know,
we're our own like manipulators in a way.
When I took philosophy class, I think we talked about it in reference to sort of like identity and knowledge. I think it was a lot about epistemology, so like the study of like what we know or what we think we know. If I'm getting it right, I could be completely wrong, but I think the cave is trying to point out this idea that, you know, what we're seeing right now, what we think we know, is just a really small shadow of what's actually happening. So
I like the white, everything's white in the album cover.
Pure.
And there's the thinking. So lots of classic references. Yeah, the thinker. Yes. 3, 2, 1, dystopia.
It's a fun pitch, Tom.
it's fun rhythm. It took me a second to figure out what meter we were in, where the beat was.
The tom kind of sounds like a tabla when you're going like that.
A little bit.
I just can't stop listening to that percussion. But of course, another really well-constructed soundscape. Ooh.
It's very clustery. The chords just have a whole bunch of notes that are really close together and pretty low, so they sound like even more dissonant than they normally would, but they're just like a little jazzy.
Oh. Bring back the strings. I like the chromaticism. It's so good.
I feel like the main interval for this song is either an ascending half step or a descending half step. It's either da or da da or da. I feel like that's what I've been finding a lot in the instrumentalist in his voice.
It's interesting to hear what things drop out rhythmically when he enters.
And some things that remain consistent, right? Like this syncopation.
There's like constants throughout, but they stop at different times to create different vibes, and other things are added. Like this part of the song has like more words and like kind of longer lines.
I feel like this is more like a story, like exposition. There's like the plot setting to it and stuff. There's a whole like plot arc.
What? A little wind. That's a weird song.
So whiny, these strings, I love it. Me too.
This is really like, it reminds me when I play Dvorak, or listen to Dvorak, I'm always caught and surprised in such a good way about how the parts interact so well and interlock, but also retaining their individual melody quality and still being interesting in their own right. I feel like this is a really good
It's Feek.
What just happened? Where are we?
Like, how did they do that? Oh my god!
Wow, triplets. Jeez.
Ooh.
Fuck.
That's an unsettling note to leave
Wow.
on. Oh! What?
Hold on, I actually want to like listen to this again.
Okay. That chord. It's just the second chord.
It's a minor four,
I have
isn't it?
no idea what it is.
I think
but
it's a
don't want
minor
to.
four. It's well, the bass line is like da 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 da. So it's definitely like kind of the motion of like tonic, predominant, dominant, tonic. I think it might just be a minor four, but because it's orchestrated so thickly, it sounds really powerful. It's definitely a minor chord. It might be. It's either a 2/6 or a 4. Let me. No, that's not it. Yeah, I think it is a minor 4. 'Cause it's like.
I think there's also that like Steely Dan 9 hidden in.
Yeah. It's a minor 4.
Yeah, that's in there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely a dissonance, but I think the root of it is just a minor 4.
Yeah.
But there's some crunchiness in there.
That's the 9. Yeah.
Yeah, with the 9 in there. Ooh, I heard it this time. Yeah, okay, so it is a minor chord at the top. It's not a 5 chord. I'm not 100% sure what it is, but it is a minor chord at the top. It does have the 5th scale degree in it, but it feels a little bit more, it almost feels like a,
+4, -4.
could be? It does. There's definitely something crunchy in there. Yeah, perfect pitch people can have a field day with that.
I dig it. It's so cool. It's great. It's structurally and sonically experimental, but yet it doesn't feel like he's biting off more than he could chew.
I thought it was really neat just how he was trying to convey the aspect of a cave and creating that dystopia effect. Because you felt stuck. You're inside a cave. You're inside a finite space. But then at the same time, he transported us with that guitar.
Yeah, the lyrics are, if you're trapped in a cave forever, you choose light or dark, easily left as a bat.
Interesting.
Nice. I think the instrumentals of this song is actually quite lively. But for me, what really sells the theme of the dystopia and the cave would be his melody. It feels like he's stuck somewhere and he's just almost going insane and he's just singing some very minimal type of things, rapping to himself almost. And there's a rhythm that he uses in the chorus, which is da 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 da. It's a triplet, and I know it sounds like Beethoven, but the Beethoven analogy is probably a stretch. But the thing is, in music, triplets are usually the most fluid type of writing. It feels very fluid. But here, somehow, he made the triplet sound really stuck and really stiff and really rigid. It's because the rest of the instruments are all dun 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 dun. It's so groovy, and then you got dun 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 dun. It's like the instrumentals are like the real world, but then he's forcing only his perception of it Like, you know, all these instruments are so lively, the world is so rich, but he gives it this really, really tight dun 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 type of melody. But then when the instruments go quiet, that's when he raps and talks about what he's truly thinking. So that's my interpretation.
What I took away from this the most, especially like with the whole like the cave allegory, is a lot of times people, it's very easy to feel like he was kind of talking about feelings of like being alone and like no one knew my existence. A lot of times it's easy to feel like the world is like against you, like explicitly, like the universe is out to get you, people are out to get you. Like, why am I here? Like, you know, living in this sort of like lost state. But I think the whole like allegory is people are thrown obstacles that they can't, you know, overcome easily, but a huge part of success in life and longevity and keeping yourself going is how you respond to the things that happen to you. And once you realize that, you can kind of take the power back and understand that yes, the world may throw you curveballs, but there's a lot of power that you have to kind of like overcome that with your own psychology.
I'm definitely gonna hit more like the musical points. I feel like this was like super extra generic. I'm gonna do like a generic like analysis of this, but like basically there's certain rappers who like incorporate singing. Like I want to say like Jamie Foxx or like Drake. He's known for this. Like he likes to like sing his lyrics a lot. And I feel like throughout this, like you can tell the elements of singing, but like there's a lot of rapping influences. And even when he was singing, he made sure like his singing was more rhythmic. I feel like yes, his voice was important, but he really cared about like how it played with what was going on with the instrumental part. And I really enjoyed that because it kept everything super interesting. Another thing I liked is just like when you were talking about like just being challenged about like what your views are, and I felt like at the end when we were like shifting modally, like I felt like utter confusion and just shookness, and I feel like that's what he was going for, because it's like you're shook, you're seeing light, you're seeing a different key, we were seeing different mixture. And I feel like that's what he was trying to convey, because like I was confused, but I was low-key happy. Like I was here for it. And it was a nice shift in the modality, but like it still had so many like different like influences of like previous motifs throughout the like song. And I feel like that's kind of what he was going for, but it also like had a lot of like blues and R&B influence and still had some type of tonal center, but it was just like different.
Literally it felt like the clouds parted. And you just have that realization, you're just like, holy shit.
Like this shit is better. Like
yes,
like,
I have
like
control.
you're like
you have control over your own life.
The whole time I literally was sitting here like, okay, I wish he would like kind of use a little more jazz, like, or just like a little more like
these are like
funky voice leading or something. And then we got to the end, and that's where I really thought that he was like, let the floodgates out, like here it is. And I really like, I was just, I mean, it was awesome. Like the texture was just kind of like overwhelming. Like you were just entirely immersed in his sound. And then there was, I think it was an electric guitar solo, just like absolutely like melting face at the end. And I was just like, this is so awesome. I feel like at the end, it's like watching a sunset. And you're just like overwhelmed by all the colors, and like because you get the full array of the rainbow in the entire sky. It's like a sunset. And so that's what I was kind of sitting there like thinking about, was like once you get like all of the texture and the low, and like it's like watching the sun. It's great. 10 out of 10.
What did you prefer more? Being left
Stop it.
or dystopia?
Stop that.
You're not gonna choose?
No.
I'm abstaining as
No, I'm
well.
not.
They're both great.